Welcome back to the graveyard, everybody. My name is Mads, and it's been a while since I gave you an update on how things are doing with redoing my goth bedroom. It's been slow going. I was very transparent, I think, in the original video on this subject about the fact that I don't have a ton of, disposable income. And a lot of what I'm using to redecorate this room has been donated to me. But I'm also starting to collect things during Comic-Cons because you'd actually be surprised how many little spooky people come to Comic-Con and sell an artist alley. It's pretty awesome, actually. I just got done at Steel City Con in Monroeville, which is kind of near Pittsburgh, buying a brand new wax melt from a girl who just has this little tent she sets up, and it's nothing but like spooky, gothy kind of stuff. And for anyone who's still relatively new to my channel, because I know I've had a little bit of an influx in followers, yes, I am very aware of what goth actually is. I'm very aware of the fact that it's a music-based, subculture and everything. I've done videos ad nauseum on that subject, but when it comes to things like aesthetics, I do occasionally use it as a blanket term because it's easier to say goth bedroom or goth cellar at a Comic-Con than to say darkly inclined. Just know that obviously, yes, I do know that goth is music-based first and foremost, but it also has been used as a blanket term for a very long time now for anything vaguely spooky. Like, let's face it, when most people who are not goth are walking down the road and they happen to see somebody wearing black lipstick with black hair, head to toe spooky stuff, they automatically assume that person is goth. That's just how it's been for a very long time now. So I do know the difference, I promise. Now, there isn't a ton of progress on my goth bedroom yet, but I'm sure you can tell behind me I've started actually seriously working on it. It's just been hard because of how busy I've been. I had a very busy convention season, which is an extremely good thing for me, honestly. It's good for my pocketbook, too. And my wife got a new full-time job after 2 years of only having temp work, which was kind of a positive and negative. I want to be really transparent about it because it would actually work really well for some people in certain lifestyles. But there was a reason it started to not work so well for us. So the positive side of only doing temp jobs is the fact that you have a lot of extra free time to yourself. And especially if you get it through an agency like my wife had been, where this agency sits down with you, they figure out what you're good at, they submit all of your stuff to these different businesses that are currently hiring. They do all the hard work for you. All you have to do is show up to an interview and then go to work afterwards. So it's nice that all that side is dealt with. And most of these agencies are like, you cannot pay these people under $15 an hour, which is still wildly underpaid for a lot of areas in America, but it's better than minimum wage, And with only 2 of us in the house, we were doing okay. We didn't have a lot of extra money or anything, but like we weren't starving so much anymore like we used to be. So it's good in the fact that guaranteed pay no matter what job you take on. It's good to know that someone else is always there to have your back. And if one job suddenly ends, another part of what they do for you is try to find you something as soon as possible. I think we never went more than 1 full week without her finding a new interview that she was going to. But that's the other thing. So, for one thing, the extra free time is a double-edged sword. It's good in the fact that, you can actually spend time doing hobbies or hanging out with your family or whatever you want to do with your free time, doing art, anything like that. But the extra free time also means that's hours you're not working, which means it's hours you're not getting paid. Because most temp jobs are only part-time. Even if they are full-time and they allow you to work 40 hours, they're very strict about you not going over that because they simply cannot afford to give you benefits if they're working through a temp agency. So that's a bit of a problem, and you don't have like health insurance and stuff. Not great. The other problem is the fact that they are temporary. My wife would have jobs through this agency anywhere from a full year and then suddenly get the boot overnight to only like a week. And they were rarely transparent about exactly how much time they wanted you for. It just kept getting extended and extended. So you would get used to the job you were doing. You would get comfortable in it. And it wasn't like when you quit a job and you try to be polite and give your boss 2 weeks notice. Oh no, with the temp jobs, it would literally be, you come into work on Monday and they go, oh yeah, this is your last week. Have fun, which was terrifying. So that's the pros and cons of having temp jobs. I know this is a little bit of a ramble. It just came to my mind, and I think it's important to discuss because, like I said, for some people, like, might be a really great idea, but for other people like us, like, it started out good. It gave us the ability to get more done with our art business, but at the end of the day, we started needing a little bit more money and something more permanent. So her having a full-time job is nice because it's dependable, it's reliable, she has job security again. And on top of that, we have more money now. So we're not even close to rich, but our bills are paid on time now and there's always food in the fridge. I can't ask for much more than that. So I've also been able to start compiling a list of some of the stuff I want to put in my goth bedroom. But before I ramble too much more, because this video has already been going for 6 minutes and I haven't shown you anything, I want to show you what I have gotten done in my room so far. So the first thing I did was take everything off of the walls. And if you want to sit here and get all judgy about how filthy my walls are, I'll have you know two things. One, your walls are a lot filthier than you think they are. Trust me on that. Two, I'm disabled, so there's very limited time that I'm actually okay enough to sit here scrubbing walls, so shut up. And three, these walls are a lot thinner than you think they are. They're basically just plywood with like no insulation and a single coat of white paint over them. Within a week of moving into this house, they were already filthy. There's like effectively no way to keep them clean. That's why I'm planning on putting a bunch of tapestries up over it, because even when they get gunky and funky and stuff, you won't really be able to see it anymore. So step one was just getting everything off the walls. Anything that my wife had put up that she wants in the office instead has now moved to the office. I'll actually show you what I did to her wall. So these are all the autographs that she has collected over the years. I simply took them from the bedroom and moved them into the office since that's where she spends more time. So there's a bunch of walls like this now, and, you know, some art and tapestries and stuff that she happens to enjoy. I know they're kind of haphazardly pinned up right now. We need to get some photo frames. Again, don't judge. I also did stuff like this where I tried to make some of it at least a tiny bit more neat and organized. She does need an extra one over here though, because that gap is really bugging me. And this is an example of one of my finished walls. This is basically the headboard of my bed where I sleep. This is kind of what I'm going for. I want stuff kind of organized. I know that these two are a little off center, but it's fine. You got the stuffed animal hammock. A lot of that is my wife's, but it's cute and I love it for when she goes overnight someplace, knowing that all her little orcas are there. But yeah, this is essentially what each wall in this room is gonna ultimately look like. That black cat is actually a puzzle that my wife and I completed together. And the 3 little mini tarot tapestries were donated by Nightmare Bliss because she's just awesome like that. This wall is incredibly barren still. It is not going to remain like this. I actually am still trying to figure out what I want to do here, but I think I'm going to be putting some floating shelves up in that corner and over here. I don't want too much stuff right under that HVAC unit. That photograph tends to do just fine. But at the end of the day, when it comes to things like figures and stuff that you invest a lot of money in, I have no idea how they'll take to having air conditioning and heat blowing on them. So all that's ever going to end up here is like framed pictures and little knickknacks like that, wall decals, things like that, that if something happens to them, I won't be heartbroken. And then we have the tapestry that you've seen in the background of many a video on my channel before. I'm debating if I want to flip it horizontally. I probably will as soon as I'm done making this video, honestly, because I wanted to cover more of the wall. But it'll just be nice. Basically, the goal, besides just gothifying this bedroom, is to make it so regardless of where I set up my chair to film a video, there will always be a cool ass background behind me. So I can say over here or over there or over there, and it doesn't matter. There will always be something interesting to look at behind me, and it mixes it up so that it doesn't get boring because you're seeing the same thing in every video. These are not staying here. These are floating shelves that were also donated to me by Nightmare Bliss. And these are actually going to get nailed up. I just wanted to clean and patch the walls before nailing up these nice floating shelves, and cool figures from like Nemesis Now and stuff that I love to collect are going to go there. I love Nemesis Now and Lisa Parker. They are my favorite like spooky type artists, and Dave McKean is also my third favorite like more modern artist. So I have so many Lisa Parker figures that I want to put there. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to put anything up here until this is situated. This is what I mean by there's only one coat of white paint on every wall in this room. Like, literally, there was just a command strip there, and that happened. And look at it, looks like cardboard. It's so strange. I wish you could like feel how weird the sensation of it is, but I'm going to be spackling the wall. I'm probably going to repaint some of it, honestly, so that this stuff's gone, and then everything looks nicer. So yeah, not too much of a really intense change just yet. I also found, for any of you who are not aware of this website, because I'm always surprised by how many more darkly inclined, spooky, gothy people don't know about it, Attitude Clothing. It's a UK website, and the reason I like it so much, it has a ton of major spooky brands, but they go on mega sale all the time, and they have homeware. They have their own line of like bedding sets and stuff for anything from a twin all the way to I think like a king. So it can fit in most mattresses. And I want to get a couple of sets of bedding from them because I saw a couple that I really, really loved that. And then I'm also going to be getting a couple of curtains for the two windows in this bedroom that have like little bats and stuff and are kind of lacy looking. And beyond that, most of the knickknack type things that are going on shelves and stuff and, just sitting on the wall and my end table are going to be coming from Etsy and Depop, because if I can find a bunch of handmade stuff and not too much stuff that's just mass produced in a factory and sold on Amazon, I'd prefer to do that. That's another reason why this process is taking so incredibly long, because if you're getting some handmade, it's going to cost more, and it's going to usually take a little bit longer to ship. And that is fine. It's absolutely worth the money that I'm investing into it, and I'm going to have it the rest of my life. No matter what house I'm living in, I'll always end up doing a room up like this. So it's not a huge deal to me. It's just, I have to get like one thing at a time when I actually have the extra money for it. But I told you guys this would be a multi-part series on my YouTube channel that, don't be surprised about the fact that it's going to take me a really long time. And I wanted to show you bit by bit how the process is going. So hopefully you're a little bit entertained by this slightly shorter video on my channel. And until next time, do something that makes you happy today, so long as you're hurting no one else in the process. And I'll see all of you in the next one.